Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, Mr. Main Event himself, the often imitated, never duplicated Superstar Tim, Vicious M. I know some of y'all are thinking, oh, why am I giving a jobber entrance this week? Well, due to some unforeseen issues with my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, unfortunately, we were not able to get the soundtrack for the show here on time for the recording, so yeah. I apologize about that, folks. It's a technical issue. We're gonna work on it. We are working on it. Hopefully it'll be back up to normal soon. With that said, though, we're going to go over Raw to see what was in Portland, Oregon, but before we do, need to address, first and foremost, there is some big news and gossip rumor that broke as of the day of this recording that I want to go over, and I don't normally like to go over rumors and gossip and all that jazz because, well, you always take rumors with a grain of salt, but this is a pretty big one. It's that WWE is in talks to potentially have Monday Night Raw become a Amazon Prime exclusive show. And where my first thought on that is, well, if they're doing that, that's going to basically be kind of like what they did to sign on with Thursday Night Football. And to put that in perspective, you can't convince me otherwise. Amazon signed on to get with the NFL to get Thursday Night Football, knowing they weren't going to make a whole lot of money off of it. However, where they are going to get their money is in where they're going to get their money in their ROI. Their return on interest is in, well, you want to watch this Thursday night game? Okay, well, you have to sign up for Prime. Oh, you signed up for Prime? Great. Hey, now you can see not just this game, but we also have other TV shows and movies that you can purchase and stream to own or rent. Oh, while you're doing that, hey, why don't you check out Kindle? We have all of these books that you can read since you're a Prime member for free. And if you like volume 1 of this book, well, we have volume 2 available for like $5 that you could purchase if you want. Oh, and let's not forget, since you're a member, since you have Amazon Prime, that means you're automatically entitled to get free 2-day shipping on millions, literally millions of items. So yeah, they're going to get their return not on the show itself, not on purchasing the TV, say this the right way, not TV right, the viewing, the rights to put the show on their program, put the show on their network, but in all the other ways. Excuse me. And listen, I was born in the 80s. I'm part of the cable generation, okay? I'm part of the cable generation where you grew up with, if you didn't have cable TV, you knew somebody that had cable TV. And my dad knew a guy who knew a guy, and we had a hot box. So from the time I was 10 until I was like roughly 18, we never once had to pay for a cable bill. We never once paid for a cable bill or a pay-per-view in my life. So yeah, I get that. And it's just, it's weird seeing it transition from cable to streaming stuff, being from the cable generation. And honestly, cable is dying a slow, painful death anyway. The only reason I got cable TV in my house is for news, weather, and sports. I watch the news. I check weather, I watch wrestling, and my son watches more sports than they put on fucking ESPN. So yeah. So that pretty much tells you. That pretty much tells you everything you need to know on that. Neither of us go on there and say, oh hey, channel 43 has a TV show that we want to watch. You want to check it out? No, I'll just watch the series later on Netflix or this or that or whatever. Well, okay then. Yeah. Must-see TV has gone the way of the dodo, unfortunately, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm going a long way around to say that. And unfortunately, the only must-see TV that's on cable is live event stuff, which is news, weather, and sports. That's it. So, with that said, now that I'm done going about that, because honest to God, I could talk about that all day long, but we're not here to talk about that. Right. We're going to switch gears, talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind, and then we'll get into this week's show and the big highlights from last week's SmackDown, I should say, my bad. Was the show started out with the finals for the U.S. title contenders tournament. Kevin Owens versus Santos Escobar. Both love these guys very much. Big fan of Santos. Been loving his work since he was King Cuerno and Lucha Underground. And for those that have known me for those that have been watching this and know me for a long time, y'all know y'all know I'm an OG Kevin Owens guy. So ain't no dance around that. Really good match, really dug this, and honestly, I gotta say, I dug the hell out of it, and I didn't like the fact that they had the walking douche nozzle Logan Paul there, but again, I get it. Sometimes business has you lining up with strange bedfellows. I don't like the guy, but I get the reason why they signed him on. Because he brings eyeballs. He brings eyeballs that may not normally watch wrestling over to wrestling. So yeah. Either way, Kevin Owens got the win, and then, so if I had to guess, we're probably going to wind up getting Owens versus Paul at the Royal Rumble. Okay. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, they came out to go and hype up about on how 2024 is going to be their year, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. And then out comes Karrion Kross with Scarlett. Okay, let me just get this out real quick. Scarlett, she was a fucking 12 out of 10 before. I don't know how, but somehow she had some weird magic voodoo powers that made her go from a 12 to a fucking 20 out of 10. All by just changing her hair color and going from blonde to brunette. Yeah. Anyways, Kross came out, and then Scarlett did, and then came Precious Paul Ellering. He stood beside them. And then, like, oh, you see Precious Paul, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. And then, boom! AOP shows up out of nowhere, sneak attacks the Profits, and then Kross comes down. They beat the holy hell out of all three of them. The Authors of Pain do the Super Collider onto the Profits, take them down. So, Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering are back, and this looks like a very nasty, mean stable right here. And all of them look like dudes you do not want to meet in the back alley. So, yeah. Excuse me, yeah. We had a women's title match, Io Sky versus Mia Yim. Really good and really glad to see Mia finally getting a match on SmackDown. put on a hell of a show, and it's like the old saying goes, don't always need the win to get over. Obviously with that, obviously referencing that, I'm telling you now, Michin did not get the win, but she showed what she could do, so hopefully that means we'll get more TV time with her down the road. Io got the win, so yeah. Next up, yes boy! SmackDown's 2 most tastiest snacks, Pretty Deadly, came out for a tag match against Butch and a tag partner of his choosing, and it was none other than... Let me try this again, because apparently my producer Wade missed his cue for the drum roll. It was none other than... Wait, seriously? Come on, man. We talked about this during rehearsal. I do the pose, that's your cue for... Sorry, he's playing Galaga on his phone. Anyways, his partner was the big strong boy, Tyler Bate, and it is also official. After this match, it was made official. Tyler Bate is now part of the SmackDown roster. Really good to see. Really glad to see that for him. Again, I'm very much so weird in the fact of, you know, the people that I like, I always hope and want to see them succeed. You know, that's me. I'm weird like that. The people I like, the people I know, I want them to succeed. I want them to do good. I want them to grow. And the fact that Tyler, it went from, excuse me, went from NXT, or NXT UK, to NXT, and is now on the main roster, is nothing short but freaking phenomenal for him. I'm happy for him. So, hope for nothing but the best. As far as this match went, man, I dug the hell out of this match. I loved it. I loved it. This was a good match. Butch and Tyler, they got the win, obviously. No surprise there. Now, also, at one point, they showed a little vignette with, well, wouldn't say vignette, but they showed a little video package. Roman addressing, or not Roman, Paul Heyman addressing the Rock comment about sitting at the head of the table, and Paul Heyman saying Rock is trying to make himself relevant by referencing Roman Reigns, and these are his words. There are 2 ways to become relevant in this world. 1, date Taylor Swift, and 2, mention Roman Reigns. So yeah. Honestly, here's my thought, and a lot of people have put out speculation on it since last week, but hear me out. Roman challenges The Rock at Elimination Chamber. Now, I know that sounds like a bad idea, like, oh, why are you going to waste that kind of a match at Elimination Chamber? Hear me out, here's my reason. You do that at Elimination Chamber, you're making a, what everyone automatically views as a B pay-per-view, a B- to a B show pay-per-view, and blowing it up, making it into like an A- to an A pay-per-view. No different, because let's be honest, that is what they've been doing with their show, with the pay-per-views, PLE, premium live events, PLE, whatever you want to address them as. That's what they've been doing with them for the longest time. That's been like Nick Khan's MO and game plan going into this company. And not only that, if you're going to do quite possibly your first major PLE event in Australia in about 10, 12-ish years. I mean, let's face it, the last time they did a show in Australia that was actually on camera was when they had Triple H and Shawn do a tag match against Kane and Taker, and we don't talk about that. So, yeah. why not load it up? Why not load that card? Make it a must-see show. Because, honest to goodness, I don't care if it's in another country. I know it's going to be in a different time zone. I know I'm going to have to get up at like 4. Listen, I'm already up and at it at like 4 in the morning every day anyway. So it's not going to be a fucking issue for me. If it's an issue for everyone else, well, hey, guess what? Digital age. You can watch it on demand at any freaking time. Just turn your phone off. Block social media altogether, avoid it like the plague, and then just sit there, click, and watch and enjoy. It's that simple. So, yeah. So, now we come to the final part of the SmackDown Rewind, now that I just went completely off on something unrelated. It was triple threat for to determine who faces Roman at the Rumble. Uncle Allen, AJ Styles, LA Knight, yeah! Dummy, yeah, let me talk to you. And Randy Orton, hell of a match, really liked it. Nick Aldis was sitting ringside the whole time watching like, oh, okay, let me see that. Oh, you guys are good. You guys are good. And then, as the match progressed, and then eventually we saw the Bloodline come out, Roman, Solo, Jimmy, and Paul Heyman. The boys went in there, cleaned house, beat the living hell out of everyone. And then Paul Heyman just standing outside looking as gleefully as he can be. And then after everything is all said and done and Roman's trash talking who's left in the ring, I think it was AJ and LA Knight, I'm not 100% certain. But afterwards Nick Aldis came over to Paul. When he's done celebrating, congratulate him. Because of this, he just earned himself a fatal 4-way for his championship at the Royal Rumble. I'll see you. And then left. And then Paul's face went from to. And then all of this is going on. You see Roman in the background cheering and celebrating like. And then I don't know about anyone else, but I just had that thought of, oh man, I'd hate to be the wise man right now because I got to break that news to my tribal chief. Ooh, that's not good. So, yeah, that is it for... Come on, guys, seriously, we lost the music. Can we not play with the lights? This is why you don't work with non-union folks, people. So, anyways, now that we're done that, let's get into this week's show, Raw, Portland, Oregon. It starts out with Drew McIntyre in the ring addressing, I tried last week. I really did. I put everything I had into that match. I had Seth beat, but I was so caught up. I rolled him up and I had his foot on the rope, and then just Seth was right. I'm my own worst enemy. And then I realized. Then Damian Priest came out to cash in. And then I realized, no, I'm not. Priest is. Because Priest, seriously, why would you cash it? Why would you cash in while I'm in the middle of the match? Wait until after the match when I'm tired, I'm beaten, I just won the championship. And then you can cash it in. But no. And then he starts going on and on, talking about Cody and CM Punk. And then Punk comes out and he looks at him. We're in Portland. This is Piper country. Should have wore a kilt, that would have liked you more. But I think that would have been too on the nose. But listen, you mentioned my name. I'm here. So let's talk. And then very much, I don't want to compare it to like when Eddie Kingston did his promo bashing Punk about walking out, being self-destructing and this, that, and the other. But it was very reminiscent of it. It reminded me of it in that sense. Of McIntyre pretty much hit all the same notes Eddie Kingston did on his. And honestly, it's not a hard song to hit, not a hard song to play. Because, I mean, it's the biggest notes, they're the biggest notes on him. Can you talk about on how he literally signed his WWE contract on a Ring of Honor World Championship? Yes, but not many people are going to know that. Can you talk about on how he spent a short amount of time in TNA before the Ring of Honor controversy started up? Yes, but nobody's going to really know much about that. They're not going to talk about the competition, because if they even try to, I'm pretty sure they got there's a whole lot of legal red tape saying they can't talk and go into detail about company names like AEW. So yeah, they're not going to be able to do that. Excuse me. So you go with what you can, which is his walkout. And they went on about that for a minute, and then Punk wound up looking at him and was like, now listen, I did what I did. I left, and when I did, you stayed and you did your bit until you got fired. And then you came back. So I walked and you followed my path. And then when you came back, I followed your path. So, I'm going to tell you this now. You're going to keep on running, and basically to sum up everything, they were going squabbling back and forth with each other. To end it, it was basically Punk saying, if you're going to keep running your mouth, I'm going to kick your teeth down your throat. And McIntyre just looking at him like, you want to try it? You're going to regret it, little man. It literally looked like seeing Wolverine staring down Sabretooth, because you got this 6 foot even guy staring down a dude that's 6'7", 6'8", and it's just like, oh, this is one hell of a stare down. Okay. Excuse me. So, I'll be the first to admit, the whole Drew McIntyre CM Punk thing kind of piqued my interest. So, yeah. I will say this, it's been long enough now. Punk has been in the company long enough. As long as he keeps himself in check and he doesn't wind up causing any unnecessary bullshit drama, I'm all for it, because again, business makes strange bedfellows, and I'm always willing to work with anyone so long as we both got the same goals in mind at the end of the day for business. And I'm hoping he's thinking in that same sense of, I'll work with you guys so long as we both got the same idea for the end game. So now, with that said, let's get into the first match of the night. Finn Balor going against Tomasso Ciampa, and this came to be because of a little backstage conversation that R-Truth had with Adam Pearce, saying that because DIY wants a shot at the tag titles, he suggested Finn Balor just go against Tomasso Ciampa, and then Balor said, wait, me? Oh, my bad, dog, my bad. I didn't know you was chicken. Listen, Mr. Pearce, don't worry about that. Finn's chicken, he doesn't want to go against him. Oh, I'm not. I'll do it tonight. Let's go. So, yeah. So now we got Finn Balor going against Tomasso Ciampa, and this nice good back and forth flow, or not back and forth I should say, sorry, nice pace and flow I should say, with Finn leading into the break. Ciampa, he was leading post-commercial break. It was a good match. I thought it was a nice opener. It came to an end when Ciampa on the outside of the apron, Finn scooped him up, had him up to suplex him back into the ring, had him up. Johnny grabbed, sweeped his leg, and Ciampa dropped his weight down on him for the pin. 1, 2, 3. That was it. Now, I should mention before that, Johnny Gargano did also wind up helping Ciampa take out Damian Priest to his ringside to make sure he didn't interfere. Next up, we got Kofi Kingston going against Ludwig Kaiser. And this is a match for Retribution. Kaiser getting Retribution over Kofi, over the whole taking his head off, taking Gia, attacking, or not attacking, but I'm trying to get my words right, folks. Trying for attacking Gio and knocking him out last week. See? Not that hard once I get a chance to say it right. From when he knocked him out. They didn't say officially, but they said that he's going to be out for a couple weeks, which, if you know on how to read in between the lines, it pretty much means potential concussion, and they're following the concussion protocol. So, as far as this match went, man, it was all Kaiser all the way. Ludwig just looking stiff and angry the whole time, leading all around, just throwing Kofi around like a fucking rag doll. Match came to an end in a double countout when both of them were swinging at each other. After the match, though, Kaiser wound up getting outside, beat the holy hell out of Kofi, was ramming his face into the stairs, kicking him, spitting on him, all this, that, and kind of mean shit. Had Jason Jordan, Jamie Noble, all bunch of refs trying to separate them. Kaiser, like, all right. I'm walking. Psych! And then run and circle around the ring and then boom! Throw a running drop kick onto Kofi's head right into the stairs like, oh, Jesus! So, yeah, and then they show in a backstage interview, Kaiser basically saying, Kofi took Gio's head off last week. All I did was simply return the favor. So with that said, now we got women's tag team action. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven getting a tag title shot against the champions, Kayden Carter and Katana Chance. And nice action with Chelsea and Piper leading into the break. And they were leading the pace for a majority of the match in post-break. It was decent enough, it felt a little, trying to think the right way to say this. It didn't hold my attention as much as the other two did at that point in time. And I'm not saying that negatively, it's just, it was, wow, and then, oh, alright, cool. Hey, oh, that's right. I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee while this, just move real quick and make a cup of coffee. But match came to an end when Kayden and Carter, they did their finish, the keg stand on the Chelsea, got the 1, 2, 3. So next up we got The Miz going against JD McDonagh with Dominik ringside, and before this match, oh my god, before this match, R-Truth aired a vignette talking about when he was born, he remembers the doctor. He remembers when the doctor was holding him, and after he brought him into the world, he told him he was going to be a member. Truth told the doctor he was going to be a member of Judgment Day. And Truth is a goddamn national treasure. He is. R-Truth is a goddamn national treasure, and I can never be mad at him because, as a rule of thumb, if you make me laugh, I can't get mad at you. So if you're ever looking to make sure I don't get mad at you, go ahead, make me laugh. But Truth aired this vignette where it's talking about all the members of Judgment Day, Rhea, Priest, Tom and Ron from Judgment Day. Although he's never met those Mysterios, but he knows they're in it. And yeah, just, you gotta go and look it up. You gotta. So while we got Miz out there ready for his match against JD comes out with Dom. R-Truth shows up out of nowhere, which a majority of the action that you're, as much as you want to pay attention to the action that's going on in the ring between JD and the Miz, you can't help but focus and see everything going on with Truth, like Dominik, like, what are you doing here? No, you're not part of the team. Go, leave. And then JD constantly yelling at Truth, like, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here, blah, blah, blah stuff. It was just, wow. It was just so freaking funny. And it kept throwing JD off, and Miz, he was leading pretty much into the break. He was leading into the break. JD was leading, or he was leading for a good bit, and then JD was leading into the break. I'm sorry. And then Miz started to pick it up and lead back up, and post break, it was a decent match. It came to an end when Miz wound up hitting the skull crushing finale, got the 1, 2, 3, and yeah. So next up we got Otis versus Ivar, and folks, grab that meat. Slap it up something fierce because we got meat, slapping meat kind of action right here. This was big meaty men slapping that meat all up and down that ring. I loved it. Listen, I've said before, my favorite kind of wrestling match to watch is when you get two big guys, not just two big guys, but two big athletic guys working with each other. And when you can get that, excuse me, when you can get two big athletic guys working with each other and go good, oh my God, it's beautiful to me. That's like poetry in motion to me. And this was, I absolutely loved it. It came to an end when Ivar did the moonsault. So it was great. Great all around. Now we come to the main event of the night. Shinsuke Nakamura going against Cody Rhodes. And this isn't a street fight because earlier when Cody had a backstage interview, Nakamura attacked him. And then they said earlier and later on in the show, prior to this match, that because of the actions by Nakamura, this is now going to be a street fight. Excuse me. It's that time of year. My post-nasal drip, so I'm coughing up stuff. I apologize. But decent match. I really dug it. Nice, good back and forth with Nakamura leading into the break and post. Cody, he started to lead right around after the second commercial break, but probably one of the cooler spots that happened in the match was, well, for me anyway, two things. One, for a street fight, they did not drag it all around the arena like you normally see street fights go. Excuse me. It was just confined to the outside of the ring and in the ring. And also at one point they were fighting over in the timekeeper's area. Cody, he asked the timekeeper to move, grabbed the chair, and then when he went to turn around, Nakamura went to hit the mist. He ducked and sprayed the mist all over the timekeeper. And then Cody takes out Nakamura, goes to look at the timekeeper, tries waving down help, trying to flag down help for him. And all the while he's doing that, next thing you know, Nakamura, boom, comes and attacks him again. Excuse me. So, really good. I thought those two spots were real good and interesting. But match came to an end when there was a table propped up in the corner. Nakamura went to go and throw Cody, or went to go and do a charge. Went to do a charge to try and spear Cody into it. Cody moved out of the way. Nakamura crashed into the table, scooped him up, popped him with a crossroads, and then got the 1, 2, 3. That is it. Cody's made his sights clear. He wants to win the Royal Rumble and then challenge Roman for the title. I gave my fantasy booking. I think Roman beating The Rock at Elimination Chamber and then having Cody beat challenge and beat Roman at that time at WrestleMania in Philly. That's what I think. That's my personal predictions. So, and I don't typically do predictions, but I will on this one. So that is it for this week's show, folks. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, all that good gimmick John at Tim Vicious. Also, folks, well, like I said, this is normally when I would thank my executive producer, Ray Ben, for the music. Unfortunately, like I said, due to technical issues, we weren't able to have the music this week. We will work to rectify this as soon as possible. Thank you to contributor to the show, LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. LFC is also on Tubi. It costs $0 to help support them. But if you do want to go and throw out some money to help support someone, help support me by going to whatamaneuver.net for some Vicious Rants apparel. We have t-shirts, long sleeves, short sleeves, women's tanks, unisex tees, tanks, hoodies, toddler shirts, as well as onesies, now that I think about it as well. All perfect gifts for somebody you love, somebody you hate. Alright, even if you just want to go and spend a few bucks, get a comfy shirt and give it to Goodwill so that way somebody will have it. All the while, you get to keep the stuff that you want to keep instead of being like, oh, they said I have to get rid of that shirt. I don't want to. So you know what? I'm just going to do that. Go ahead, do it. Do it. I encourage it. Also, folks, do not forget to check out these cool-ass guys right out on the Twitter, DSB_IV, Main Event _net. That's the main Twitter channel for the Main Event Wrestling Network. Sergeant Curry Pants, 3 Count Thursday, D Dyer, 1986. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.